talking about the legislative session opening, the 2014 session opening. Important event. The House has its work cut out for them. More than 120 bills that were left over from last year. House Speaker Terry Norelli pretty smartly has carved them up into 3 digestible bites. This could take as much as 3 or more sessions to complete this calendar. It starts out with a really interesting issue we've talked a little bit about before, is whether New Hampshire would join almost 40 states now that define adulthood as 18. Back in the mid-90s, we lowered the age of adulthood to 17. And the reason was, back then, with the drug trade, that in Massachusetts, drug dealers were sending young teens over the border to purchase and distribute drugs because New Hampshire did not charge 17-year-olds as adults. But the trend is going in the reverse direction. Massachusetts last year raised the age to 18. A number of states have done that. Why? Because the federal law now states that in prison you have to separate all offenders, inmates under 18 years old from the rest of the population. That's going to be really expensive for New Hampshire and for all states, and that's why states are pushing their age of majority back to 18. Mary Beth Waltz, a Boat Democrat who chairs the Children and Family Committee, has come up with this reform. She has bipartisan support from it, from folks like Dan Itzy, a very conservative Republican from Fremont. I think it stands a good chance of passing the House. The Senate has not weighed in on this issue in more than 15 years. In an election year, there's really no telling whether Senate Republicans were worried that it's going to characterize them as being soft on crime by letting these 17-year-olds be charged as juveniles and not go to the big house. So its fate is undetermined, but I think it speaks to how 2014, not an election year ho-hum session, is going to be full of these dense, very important public policy debates that will follow here for you at NashuaTelegraph.com.